there are two factors. We get attached for our desires, and desires convert into thoughts in the mind. Of all the equipment, entire body, mind is more important. Everything is happening through mind only. See, this is more important. Entire life revolves through around the mind only. And the mind is based on prarabdha karma. Samskaras are there. And the samskaras are released and they are converted into thoughts, desires. And desire converted into thoughts, and thoughts are converted into action. This is a psychic process that is going on. We get attached to our desires, and there comes the problem. Attachment is somewhat a selfish aspect. It's selfish action. Attachment is a selfish action. It limits our scope, our expression, and to our own love to others also. Naturally, then it cannot help us to the higher scope of spiritual scope of realizing the ultimate reality concerned. That's why Lord Krishna advises us to go beyond the attachment. Brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tattva karotya lipate nasapapan padmapatra ivambasa. He said, because of this attachment, it brings about the negative aspect of our life, limits our life, and its scope of our expression. He says, you widen to get over this aspect, negative aspect of our attachment, make Brahman Adaya Karmani. Because God has created this aspect, entire universe. And in fact, He is directing all actions only. So naturally, we should base our thoughts on Brahman, the Parameshwara, Ishvara itself. That means, in other words, whatever we doing, you must feel that it is the Ajna, it is the direction from the ultimate reality only. Good or bad, that's a different thing. In one society, it may be good, accepted. In other society, it may not be accepted. So this is a relative aspect of it concerned. That he says that you must do the action. It's not that he's not advising to go beyond the relinquish the actions concerned. Actions have to be done so long we are alive. Remember that in whatever situation we are there, we have to do action. Because we are pursuing spiritual aspect, evolution aspect, doesn't mean we are renouncing the action. We are not renouncing the action. Action has to be done. But the scope of it should be widened so that we should not get attached to the actions. Chinnam bhojyam bhokta bhogascha te vigrashya sakshi chinmatram sadashiva. He advises to cultivate the action of Sakshi Bhuta, witness aspect of it. That is more important, not the renouncing action. An action involves three factors. The karta, the doer, doing, and process of the result of the doing. All these three elements are concerned in the action. It should go on. That's what we say during the jagrata, during the waking state, during the dream state, or during the sleep state concerned. But whatever happens, but in all these things, don't get attached to it. How we can get over this attachment? Remaining a Sakshi. So I'm requesting you to cultivate that psychic aspect of remaining Sakshi, witness. Consider you are witnessing it. Attachment is the material aspect of it, and detachment it is the spiritual aspect of it, and that we have to cultivate it. Nothing comes for nothing. Without effort, nothing comes. We have to try for it. We hear it, we know this is more. We have come for a greater phenomenal aspect of spiritual evolution and revolution. This we have to already think ourselves. This is a transit, anitya, transitory. I have to go to permanent aspect of eternal aspect of my life, which never born, never dies. That aspect is a spiritual aspect. That's the Atman, which is known, but within ourselves heart. But we have forgotten it. Not only theoretically, but practically also. Diva practically, we have theoretically also we forgotten it. I am only witnessing. But my nature is Chinmatra, pure absolute consciousness. All this is absolute consciousness only, there is no other than itself. But unfortunately, we get name and form of individual aspect of it. Variety aspect of various objects we see it, and that is our mind is limited in that concern. We have to cultivate the psychic aspect of Sakshi Bhuta, and it, of course, slowly it comes not at one time. It takes time because life after life, we have been attaching to the body concerned. It cannot go in one stroke. It takes time. But nonetheless, we must remember it psychologically. Sakshi, Chinmatram, I'm pure absolute consciousness only. I already told you there is no, it's all absolute consciousness only. It is the mind, thought process which brings about limitation, intention, name and form, which is limits our concept of life, that I am born, I am dying it. That's why Gaudapada gave psychologist, he initiated Ajatavada, he initiated the doctrine of Ajatavada. It is your mind that thinks that you are born, you are living, you are dying like that. All this is consciousness only. When a child is born, it doesn't think anything. And when you look into the eyes of the child, you get the pure consciousness transmitting it through its eyes, because it's not limited by the mental interference. When a baby is born, there is no interference in the consciousness. It's only consciousness only transmitting through the eyes. But as it grows, mind grows, it interferes. That consciousness into name and form object of it. That's what is happening. We also induct the children, babies born into name and form aspect of the life, considered by giving a name and continuously pointing to him that he is the so and so, he is the body, he is the mind. That's a social process going on. From ultimate reality to limited reality of existential life. When baby is born, it never thinks. It is all consciousness only. It is the mind which brings about the limitation to the existence of conscious life concern, which is not permanent. Then we have to realize. So we have to go back by Nivurti Marga. Now we are coming out of the mind outside Pravurti Marga, mind going outside in the object format, which not leads us nowhere. And now we are realizing this spiritually, we must go back, Nivurtimara, go inside and think that we are not the body, mind, intellect, we are only Atman, the Sakshi aspect of it. Sakshi Bhuta, I am only witnessing aspect of it. Think like that. This is the way you have to cultivate it. Think there is nothing wrong if you can't think that I am Sakshi of my thoughts. I am Sakshi of my own body. I am Sakshi witnessing of my own family. I am witnessing of my own body, my thoughts and my relations and all that. Feel it, there is nothing wrong. Again, I warn you, feeling that does not deprive your action. You are not limiting any action. Action will go on according to Prabdha Karma. Only thing psychologically you are not attaching to it. You are trying to get detached by process of witnessing. It's a simple process, but of course, it requires cultivation. Your practice has to be done. Whatever you think, I am only witnessing it. I am witnessing my body. I am witnessing my thought, because I know my thought, but I am not the thought. When I am sitting in the car, I am not the car. Nobody feels that he is in the car. So body is like a car. I am sitting in the body. I am not the body. I am sitting in the mind. I know the mind. It's action and thoughts and others. How can I be thoughts? But unfortunately, we get attached to the thoughts in the mind. Thereby we suffer either good or bad, happiness or misery. Both positive and negative aspect we feel it. and there we suffer. Whenever the happiness is positive aspect comes into control, we feel as if we are happy, something, achieve something. When it is going into negative, we get depressed. So life will go on oscillating from misery to happiness, misery to happiness. That is what is all that. This is only lower aspect of a concern. Now you have come to bring the neutral aspect of it. Whether you are worried or happy when desirable comes or undesirable comes, you become neutral. Just like a day and night. Sukha dukkha comes and goes, like a day and night. That's what he said. Day comes, it is not permanent. Then night comes, it is not. And it is Sukha dukkha comes and go, just like a day and night. That Shastra said. And all this comes when you cultivate the psychic aspect of witnessing aspect of it. So, as I let you know, there are two, attachment and detachment. Attachment limits psychologically and leads to all negative aspect of our life concern. Detachment is the contrary, leads you to widen aspect of our spiritual life. So thereby we become more and more spiritual evolutionary process. But attachment limits to a material aspect of life concerned. It limits your body. Attachment to body limits you. Attachment to our family members, wealth, happiness, that is. So try to go beyond the attachment. There is a process of detachment. That it comes, how it comes, it works process of Sakshi Bhuta, I ever told you. Try to cultivate, think mentally that you are witnessing it. Sakshi Bhuta. Sakshi Chinmatram, so that I'm only witnessing. My nature is pure, absolute consciousness. That what nature is. Sadashva, eternally blissful I am. This is a practice one has to do psychologically, mentally. You need not take anybody, but you must think again mentally that you are the ultimate reality. You are only witnessing it, and attachment leads to limitation of speaking. That attachment may be a desire for family or some aspect of our material life, material comforts like that. All this attachment to comforts, family, and other things limits our scope. So we must try to be detached as far as possible with our thoughts, and really we can widen. And ultimately, our Sakshi Bhuta psychology gets settled. So once this is done, just let's suppose you drive a car. In the process of learning the car, your hands and legs, it takes some time to get it automatically. Once you learn it and everything becomes automatically. When you used to sit there, automatically your hands goes, automatically your limbs goes, what to be controlled and all that. How it has come. Of course, in the beginning, when you are practicing it takes repetition again and again. But once it will settle down, it becomes automatic. These are all your equipment because you drive the cars and you learn the car driving also. And you know what in the beginning how you are, now you are how it is. Your entire body system becomes automatic. That's how life is. In the same way, it is also like that. The psychological aspect, learning of the psychic aspect of it, Sakshi Bhuta aspect, you have to learn in the beginning. So automatically it becomes, a time comes automatically. Whatever you do, it's the idea of Sakshi Bhuta only. It's Chaturvahinam Tanmano Amurta Uchyate. Tadev Tapaha Siddhanta Rutya Moksha Uchyate. Where there is no disturbance in the mind, where mind is calm, that is immortality, that is liberation. That comes up by practice. I ever showed you. And that comes by practicing the Sakshi Bhuta aspect of it concern. So because your nature is Chinmatra, absolute consciousness only. It is your mind, my mind, that it is limiting it into name and form format. Thereby we are become mortal and limited on the time space continuum. That is the situation. So thank you very much. Today I wanted to communicate with that, try to understand what attachment, what detachment is, and how we can cultivate the phenomena of Sakshi, the witnessing aspect of it. Why we should cultivate the phenomena of the Sakshi, because that our own nature, Atma is our own nature. So, Chinmatra, our Atma is Chinmatra, that is our true personality. Unfortunately, we are living in a false personality because of shadow, the ego personality. I am body and so on. This is an ego personality, and that ahankara, ego, is a shadow of the true personality of your own Chinmatram. And it is there, valid so long as valid mind is there. Your true Atma reflects in the mind, and that reflection is your ego, which is not there during the deep sleep, because mind is not functioning there. So you go into your Sakshi Bhuta, Chinmatra aspect of it concerned. These are some psychic things, and that is liberation. Once and it becomes I have told you, when you go on thinking, repeat, it becomes automatic. The problem is during running only. Once it settles down, it becomes automatic in your life, our existence of life. Life goes on automatically, but on the Sakshi Bhuta continuum dimension. So these are my few words which I wanted to communicate to you. Let's try to cultivate the psychic aspect, Sakshi Bhuta aspect. Why we should cultivate? Because our nature is choose absolute consciousness. It is the mind, attachment to the thoughts and mind, which is leading us to that. And we have to cultivate the psychic process of detachment without expecting fruits of our actions. Fruits comes automatically. But when you go on psychic thinking, what I get, I will not get, that means your mind is divided. Action will be poor. That's why Gita has told, don't bother about what your fruits, it comes automatically. Don't divert your energies from the action to the result of action first. Result automatically comes. If your action is positive, results is also positive. They will come directly. But don't unnecessarily concentrate on what I get, on the result, end of it. You are not started anything, you are concentrating on the end of it. What is this all? Try to go on doing it first, the end comes later on, automatically according to action. Your positive, a negative aspect of the action concerned. That's why Bhagavan has recommended. Don't unnecessarily divert your attention. What I get if I do like this? Things will come automatically, but concentrate on action itself rather than diverting it to psychic feeling of what I get it like this. So you get everything by meditation, it automatically will come because you are going to your true state of spiritual state of Chinmatra, absolute consciousness. It is our mind because of Janmas. It is dividing us to the attachment of the body mind concern. We have to go beyond by detachment and cultivate the Sakshi Bhuta, psychic aspect of our personality concern.